Hi, my name is Sai Gopalan, and I'm a product manager with Google Cloud. And in today's session, we're going to be covering Google Cloud VMware Engine and how you can lift and transform your VMware estate over to Google Cloud and Google Cloud VMware Engine and transform it. Before we get into the session itself, I wanted to give a little bit of preamble. IT leaders today are being asked to simultaneously support their company's infrastructure, find opportunities for growth, and meet their goals with fewer resources and smaller budgets than before. Customers are successfully leveraging Google Cloud VMware Engine to achieve these goals while lowering their TCO and transforming their organization. It's because of these successful customer outcomes that we have been awarded the 2023 VMware Cloud Innovation and SaaS Transformation Partner Achievement Award for delivering solutions that accelerate our customers' digital transformation journey. We are honored to receive this reward and continue to stay focused on delivering tremendous value to our customers. We're going to be covering a number of things today. We're going to be covering why Google Cloud VMware Engine, getting into a little bit of a technical overview, going through a few demos as well. So let's get into the meat of it. One of the key things that our customers and organizations face is a business dilemma where business leaders are thinking about growth. How do they transform their business as fast as possible, leveraging data, analytics, and security services? And IT operations leaders want to manage risk. IT operations leaders want to prioritize risk reduction, minimize operational changes, downtime, and maximize existing investments. So the dilemma really comes about is how do you rapidly transform your business while minimizing IT risk, change management, and expenses? Should you invest in refactor and transform, or should you lift and shift quickly and deal with transformation later? Balancing the two often requires a trade off, forcing leaders to choose between lift and shift, which is low risk and effort but longer transformation times, or refactor and transform, where you can get faster innovation but with significant upfront cost and time investments. And this situation becomes even more exacerbated when you look at VMware workloads, which power a majority of compute workloads in on-prem environments. There are 85 million, according to VMware's estimates, there are about 85 million VMware workloads running on vSphere. And these businesses deal with the lift and shift versus refactor and transform dilemma every day. And the question really becomes, how do you transform your business fast but leverage existing investments, operations, and limit downtime and risk? This is where Google Cloud VMware Engine fits in. So our mission is to really accelerate your transformation journey while balancing agility and risk. We are taking a unique approach to providing a cloud-first, simple VMware experience in the cloud with our first-party VMware offering called Google Cloud VMware Engine. We call it the cloud-first VMware. It means three things. The first one is around cloud-optimized VMware experience. Businesses can consume VMware simply as any other cloud infrastructure service and can take advantage of the elasticity and scale of the cloud through fast provisioning, automated scaling, and high-end infrastructure. We also simplify the use of VMware services through unified identities, access control, billing, and support. Secondly, our mission is to create a cloud-integrated VMware experience where we help businesses transform their applications and infrastructure through simplified integrations with services such as cloud operations, BigQuery, and AI services to respond to customer needs more quickly. Third is to enable familiar third-party applications in the cloud. Customers have invested several years and lots of money into developing their ecosystem of VMware tooling and third-party tooling. How do you easily extend this ecosystem of third-party and VMware tooling over to the cloud, where you can actually move to the cloud without any changes? And we've partnered with leading ISVs to develop integrations for remote desktops, backup, and DR. You can therefore continue to use your core enterprise applications and IT tooling you need to run your business in the cloud. One of the key things that customers look at when they are migrating their estates to the cloud is how do you reduce your TCO? And VMware Engine fits in really well over here. There are a few ways by which we do this. The first one is this is a service, which essentially means that all of the lifecycle operations are done by Google. You have automated hardware and VMware software lifecycle management, including fast provisioning and node remediation, which eliminates repetitive manual and time consuming tasks that you might have done on premises. We also are able to leverage economies of scale at Google, where we pool resource requirements and purchase equipment at scale, driving down costs, and these savings ultimately pass on to our customers. One of the key things is higher utilization of hardware. With Google Cloud VMware Engine, you can purchase and provision nodes as needed, and you don't need to over provision your environments. This really eliminates the underutilization, and with powerful capabilities that vSphere platform offers with CPU and storage overcommit, you can bring down the cost per VM significantly. This is actually really important because as you're thinking about Google Cloud VMware Engine, one of the key things that you will notice that you purchase on a per node basis, and you can pack as many virtual machines as you want on that particular node. You can also lower TCO by leveraging Google services, where you scale capacity elastically and reduce your TCO by utilizing lower cost bulk storage services for static data. You can also create efficient and centralized operations with services such as Google Cloud Operations. And finally, your migration costs are significantly cut down because what you're doing is you're migrating from a vSphere environment on premises in the cloud over to Google Cloud VMware Engine, which is also a vSphere environment. And you can eliminate the costs associated with migration. You can also reduce the cost and the time involved in actually migrating these workloads over. One of the key things that customers like about Google Cloud VMware Engine is the fact that we can rapidly provision entire VMware private clouds, which are dedicated to you in any one of the 17 regions VMware Engine is available globally. Now, one of the key things of this service is high availability, and we are able to provide 4 nines of uptime availability SLA in a single zone in each one of these locations. In addition, the service itself has achieved a number of industry certifications, which allows you to run your workloads with confidence. The latest one being PCI DSS. Customers really have a number of use cases when they're thinking about Google Cloud VMware Engine. Let's look at some of the key use cases. Customers that want to migrate their entire data centers over to the cloud, either due to stringent financial or timing constraints, such as data center exits because the colo lease is expiring, mergers, acquisitions, or divestitures that need to close at a particular time frame, or those that want to extend their data centers simply to augment their capacity in a consistent fashion, can find value with Google Cloud VMware Engine because it's operationally consistent with their on-premises vSphere environments. In addition to that, we also simplify networking and provide our service globally, which means that you can leverage Google Cloud VMware Engine in any region that you might have data centers in. It also applies to customers looking to support high-performance applications, isolated compute environments, or apps and OSs that are incompatible with other infrastructure platforms. For those customers that are really looking to develop a cloud-based DR strategy due to events such as upcoming audits, protecting against ransomware, protecting tier 2, tier 3 apps, and even tier 1 apps, geographic risk diversification, can look towards Google Cloud VMware Engine because of the low-cost DR support for a wide ecosystem of tooling that we support with Google Cloud VMware Engine. With the latest addition of stretched private clouds, customers are also able to leverage zero RPO high availability with Google Cloud VMware Engine, where we stretch a private cloud across 2 zones and increase site failure tolerance. For those customers that are looking to support distributed desktop infrastructure in multiple geographies, or those that have upcoming software licensing renewals, customers that are looking to address seasonality and support more end users at scale, say for their work from anywhere initiative. Our service offers support for both industry leading VDI solutions with VMware Horizon and Citrix. Finally, for those customers that are looking to unlock the value of Google services for their applications and infrastructure, Google Cloud VMware Engine offers them a path towards where they can move their applications over to Google Cloud with our re-architecture rapidly and then modernize and augment and enrich as they want. Let's look at a couple of customer examples. ADT, which is a leading residential security services company, was able to migrate their data center over to Google Cloud VMware Engine. They were also able to migrate a number of their data visualization tools. With the combination of Google Cloud VMware Engine and BigQuery, they accelerated the data query times 20 to 30 times, from hours to second. And one of the key things that they mentioned was standing up a Google Cloud VMware Engine environment was extremely easy and more streamlined than what they had seen in nearly 20 years, right? And this is one of the most successful products that they use. Carrefour, a global retailer, moved its on-premises landscape to Google Cloud VMware Engine. And they, in combination with other Google services, they were able to offer, tailored e-commerce experiences to their customers. They reduced the operating cost by 40% and also reduced the energy consumption by 45%. So let's get into a little bit of an overview of the technical aspects of Google Cloud VMware Engine. This is a cloud service. It's a first-class compute platform within Google Cloud. You get a full VMware cloud in minutes, which is fully integrated with VPCs. You also get auto-scaling, self-service provisioning, elastic capacity on demand. It's all OpEx based. You can also get, access to other native Google services such as BigQuery, cloud operations, etc. And you can really look towards how you can, migrate, lift, and transform your applications with other Google services as well. So what do you get? You get dedicated, isolated infrastructure. You purchase the service on a hyper-converged node basis. These nodes include private distributed storage. You also get high levels of RAM and storage to meet your application resource needs. As far as networking is concerned, you get 100 Gbps of non-oversubscribed, fully redundant network design. And essentially, this service itself is fully integrated from networking, billing, identity, and support standpoint. What you take care of are your workloads, and Google takes care of managing and operating the service infrastructure on your behalf. There are a few things that are unique about this service delivering value for the VMware workloads. The first one is this is truly an enterprise-grade platform for demanding workloads. As I was mentioning before, you get 4 nines of availability in a single zone. You get 100 Gbps of east-west dedicated networking with redundant switching, and you get large 32 node clusters. This really means that you can support high performance applications, which without any noisy neighbor problems. You get planet scale networking that is brought to VMware estates in Google Cloud. This service itself is built on and deeply integrated with Google's powerful networking infrastructure and architecture. You get multi-region networking as well as VPC networking without any overhead complicated configurations that you might have to do in other contexts. You also get a simple and unified Google experience where you can get 3 clicks to a private cloud in under an hour. You also have a consistent experience for support, billing, identities, and access control. And you get easy private access to Google services for things such as cloud operations, BigQuery, AI, and more. And this really offers you a path to transforming your applications the way you see fit. This is really for enterprise workloads of today as well as for tomorrow, right? Where you might have latency sensitive or high performance workloads. You might have workloads that are suited for overcommit, right? Where you might want to bring down the cost per VM significantly by overcommitting your CPU, as well as optimizing your storage. with the right set of policies. You also might have applications that are licensed on a per core basis, right? You might want to bring those existing license with a BYOL program. You can also leverage capabilities such as custom core counts, where you can actually optimize your licensing costs for those applications that are licensed on a per core basis. This is also suited for all of your legacy applications that are running on VMware. These aren't probably going to be refactored for some customers, but they do need to coexist with the rest of cloud first workloads or cloud native workloads, or need access to cloud services. And finally, you might have workloads and applications there that run across clouds that need to leverage native cloud services. And these workloads and applications that are running on VMware are very well suited for Google Cloud VMware Engine. One of the key use cases of Google Cloud VMware Engine the customers are also using for, which I was mentioning before, is DR. We support a number of industry leading solutions like Zerto and Veeam, as well as VMware's own SRM. But in addition to that, we also have our own native service, Google Cloud Backup and Recovery. And this is really a very flexible cloud first service where you can actually create custom backup policies to meet your specific RTO needs. You have point in time recovery where you can restore your VMs to any point in time within the backup history. You can quickly and easily recover your VMware VMs to a new location in the event of a disaster. And all of this is managed from a single console, making it easy to back up, recover, and perform other DR orchestration tasks. You also have a fully secure Google Cloud backup and DR solution over here. One of the key things that I was mentioning before is, you purchase on a hyper-converged node basis. Customers that have storage-heavy environments can also leverage external data store support with file store recently that we announced, as well as in addition to that, cloud volume service. Now, this is at the data store level. We also have a number of options that you can actually use at a guest VM level. And all of this goes to show that we have a number of storage extension options that you can use for your storage heavy environments when you're thinking about moving to Google Cloud VMware Engine. Now, we've talked a lot, we've covered a lot of ground. I would like to hand it over to Vivek, who will lead us through some of the demos that we have for you.
Thank you, Sai. I'm Vivek Lodha, and I'm a customer engineer for GCV at Google Cloud. Now, we have lots of customers leveraging Google Cloud VMware Engine, and based on those learnings, I have 3 interesting demos lined up for today. We'll be covering a customer journey through Google Cloud VMware Engine. The first part of the journey is to deploy a VMware Engine private cloud using API CLI in an automated fashion. And once applications are migrated using tools like HCX, we will see how to perform day 2 operations and monitoring for VMware Engine private cloud. And finally, once the application is residing within GCV, we will see how to get more insights out of that data, of your data, by using Google native services like BigQuery. Now, the first demo is for provisioning private cloud through API and CLI. So let's get into the first demo. Now, you could always deploy a VMware private cloud through the Google Cloud Console web interface, but now we have also added or introduced support for API CLI for Google Cloud VMware Engine. This means that operations like creating a new private cloud, deleting or adding nodes in the private cloud can be performed in an automated manner using API or Google Cloud CLI or G-Cloud CLI. Now, this can be used for day 0 provisioning or for provisioning a new GCV private cloud for use cases like disaster recovery, or for provisioning on-demand private cloud for test and dev. Now let's go ahead and look at the demo. For this demo, I've logged into Google Cloud Console. From Google Cloud Console, you can go to VMware Engine portal. Now within the VMware Engine portal, you will see the number of private clouds which have been deployed for this project. You can see that there are 2 private clouds which have been deployed here, one in EuroPest 8 and the other one in EuroPest 6. Now let me go ahead and click on one of them. Within the private cloud, you can get credentials for vCenter and NSX from here. You can also get a view of total capacity of the private cloud, and and you can then perform certain operations, as in adding additional nodes, creating auto scaling policies, or deletion of nodes from here. If you have to go ahead and create a new private cloud, you can click on new private cloud and then give a name for the PC, select the region and give the node count, and then enter a CIDR range. So this is how you create a private cloud using GUI. Now there is another way to create or perform these operations, like deletion of nodes, addition of nodes, or creation of a new private cloud using API or CLI. What I'm going to demonstrate now is I'm going to demonstrate creation of a new private cloud using gcloud CLI. For this, you need to log in into Cloud Shell. I've already logged into Cloud Shell. And from the Cloud Shell, you need to run a CLI for creation of the private cloud. Let me go ahead and run this. Now what I'm doing here is I'm instructing it to create a new private cloud by this name. This would be the name of the private cloud. This would be the name of the first cluster which it will deploy. This is the type of node which it will deploy. This is the number of nodes. So for a production deployment, minimum node count is 3. So that's what I've chosen. And then you will also select the CIDR range for this, and also the location where you want to go ahead and deploy this. So you can see now the creation of the private cloud is in progress. Let me go ahead and see if I refresh here, if I see a new private cloud being shown here. Yes. So you can go ahead and see that now there are 3 private clouds here. This one is still under provisioning, and it will take some time for it to be provisioned completely. Normally it takes roughly anywhere between 45 to 90 minutes for a new private cloud to be up and ready for consumption. So now your private cloud is deployed and you are in the process of migrating some applications to Google Cloud VMware Engine using HCX. But you also need to configure monitoring of your VMware environment in order to be production ready. While the VMware Engine fully supports existing VMware monitoring and logging tools without any changes, but as you start to deploy or develop hybrid applications that partially live outside VMware, getting all operations data in one place will be very important. To solve this problem, you can use Google Cloud's Operation Suite, which can provide a single view of your application spread across multiple services. A good example could be to have the database of the application sitting on Cloud SQL and the rest of your applications still residing on GCV. And now imagine you have a performance problem and you want to troubleshoot all aspects of that application dependencies in a single place. Now, rather than going on to different systems to solve different parts of some parts of the problem, now this is where you can leverage cloud monitoring and cloud logging. Now, when you use cloud monitoring, you can install predefined dashboards for VMware Engine with minimal setup or configuration. Data from vCenter, vSAN, and NSX for networking are displayed in these dashboards. There are 2 integrations, one for fetching different metrics around resource consumption, etc., and displaying them in cloud monitoring. And the second one is to ingest syslogs from the environment and display the logs in cloud logging. Now, once you have these metrics in cloud monitoring, you can also create alerts based on these, which can notify you in different situations for taking remedial actions. Now, these can be used for troubleshooting purposes or also for day-to-day monitoring. Now, there are 2 deployment options. One is to deploy a standalone agent, which you can deploy within the VMware environment. And the other one is to deploy a agent as a GC instance or a Google Compute Engine instance. Now, all the metrics and logs are forwarded to these agents, which are then forwarded to cloud monitoring and logging. Now, let us go ahead and look at the second demo, which will cover the monitoring and operations aspect of Google Cloud VMware Engine. For this demo, I've logged into Cloud Console again. And within Cloud Console, I'm under the monitoring section. And within monitoring, I've clicked onto dashboards. Within dashboards, you can see all the dashboards here related to GCV. These dashboards can be very easily installed within your project. Now, in order to collect these metrics and logs from Google Cloud VMware Engine, we need a agent, and this agent, like and like we discussed previously, can be either installed within the Google Cloud VMware Engine itself or as a GC instance within your Google Cloud project. In this case, I'm using a standalone agent which is deployed within the GCP project as a GC instance itself and not within GCV, but you can very well deploy it within GCV as well. Now let's quickly look at some of these dashboards. So the first dashboard which I want to show you is the GCV overview dashboard. Now within the GCV overview dashboard, you get a high level view of key resources like your data centers, your clusters, and your VMs. Now in this case, you can see I'm only monitoring a single cluster because I've only added a single private cloud within my agent, so now I'm getting data only for that single private cloud, and within that private cloud I have a single cluster, and there are total 4 data stores within that cluster, and it is a 3-node cluster. I can see that, and these are the total number of VMs. And then I get a high level overview of what's the total storage used, total memory used, and other things within this dashboard. So the second dashboard which you can leverage is the contention dashboards. And within the contention dashboard, you can basically view resource utilization for things like storage, CPU, memory, and also networking, which can help you locate top VMs and also hosts by the resources which they are demanding. And just to give you a view of how the dashboard looks like, let me go down. Now imagine a scenario where you get a alert that within your vCenter or maybe within cloud logging, because you can also forward logs from your vCenter into cloud logging, and you see that there's a problem with the VM, and now you can come here and kind of do that correlation whether that VM resource is kind of getting any resource utilization issues. Are the servers healthy? Is there enough capacity available from an infra side of things for that VM? And similarly, you can get more view on that virtual machine level itself within this dashboard, which is a virtual machine dashboard, performance dashboard, where you can see things like, for example, how much memory, CPU is your virtual machine utilizing or consuming at any point of time. And you can also then try to figure out outliers which might have a performance impact on rest of your VMs, right? And you can try to isolate those. You can also look at things like network throughput for your virtual machines here. The other thing is, for example, you have a 3-node cluster, and then your applications are using, or your VMs are using those 3-node cluster, and then at certain point you are above a certain threshold. And you can and that threshold could be a CPU or based on memory. You can monitor all of those things here, and then at certain point you can decide to add additional node or maybe additional cluster, right? Or the other way around as well, right? So this gives you a very good dashboard, out of the box dashboard, which you can leverage to monitor your Google Cloud VMware Engine environment. Apart from that, you can also create some custom dashboards as well. So these were like out of the box dashboards which I was showing to you, but you can also create custom dashboards. For example, here I have application level dashboards. You can also create it like for per application dashboards here. The idea here is to give you a single unified view where you can monitor your applications which are running on GCV, as well as applications which are running on other Google native services. So you get a unified dashboard here. Also think of a scenario where you might have an application which is spread across GCP, and maybe for, let's say, for database, it is using some of our other services around database, maybe let's say Cloud SQL. So you also get a dashboard where you can monitor all of them together. And now this brings me to the last part of my demos today. So what we have done till now is we have deployed a new private cloud through gcloud CLI, and then we have configured day 2 operations, or we have looked at day 2 operations for this private cloud. And now imagine you have migrated some applications on this private cloud. Now what you want to do is, maybe you don't want to change your applications at this moment, or you don't want to transform your application, but still you want to get more out of your data which is residing within Google Cloud VMware Engine. So that's what the third demo is about, where you can get onto a data transformation fast path with BigQuery and Looker Studio integration with Google Cloud VMware Engine. Now, once your application is residing within Google Cloud VMware Engine, you can start leveraging other Google native services, since the application now has the advantage of being or having a low latency direct or a high throughput access to other Google services because it is residing in the same environment. Now, an example could be a database still running on GCV, but the front end could be possibly moved to GKE. Or as a customer, you would want to leverage some of the other Google data analytics services like BigQuery without the need to transform your existing application. Now, BigQuery is our enterprise data warehouse, which is designed to make large scale data analytics accessible to everyone. It can help you get valuable insights into your data with ease. Now, once we have this data within BigQuery and you have run some analytics on top of that, you can start visualizing this data in Looker Studio for any reporting purpose. Now, for our topology, or now for our demo, here is the topology for it. What we have is we essentially have a MySQL server which is running on within Google Cloud VMware Engine. Imagine that this is something which was migrated from on-prem to Google Cloud VMware Engine, and it's very cumbersome to, let's say, transform this database. So now what you can do is you can have your database still running on GCV, which we are doing in this demo. And now what I'll be doing is I'll be using data stream to capture this data from MySQL, and then I will be streaming this data out to BigQuery using data stream. Now, data stream is a serverless change data capture and replication service, which makes it easy for you to synchronize data across heterogeneous databases. So you could have a MySQL database or any other database, and you can leverage a data stream to capture that data. And it does it with the minimum latency, and it is also a serverless service. Now, finally, what we are doing is we are taking out the data from MySQL, and then we are pumping out that data from MySQL into BigQuery. And within BigQuery, we are running some analytics, or I'll be running some analytics in the demo. And then finally, I'll be visualizing that on Looker Studio. And this is what we are going to do in the demo. So now let's go ahead and head over to the demo. I have a 3-node cluster in which a MySQL instance is running. Within MySQL instance, I have different databases. For today's demonstration, I'm going to use classic models. I'm already within classic model database. Within classic model database, there are different tables. Let's look at those tables. Let's look at entries within one of those tables. Now, my next job is to stream this data out to BigQuery using data stream. For this, I'll go ahead and quickly log in into data stream. I've already gone ahead and created a stream. Let me go into it. Within the stream, you will see there is a source profile and there is a destination profile. Within the source profile, define the IP address of the source. In this case, it's a proxy VM which is running in GCE, which is providing connectivity between data stream and GCV. And then you can also see how data stream is connected to this proxy VM, which is using private connectivity, which is VPC peering underneath. The next profile is the destination profile, and the job of the destination profile is to stream this data out to BigQuery. Now let me quickly log in into BigQuery. Now within BigQuery, I already have all the data being streamed from data stream into BigQuery. Now these are the tables which were which were there in my SQL instance running within GCV. So I have those tables here, and I have a customer table. I have an order table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a small query, and the idea is to see which are the customers who have placed the largest number of orders. And for this, I have created a small query, and I can see here that these are the customers who have placed the highest number of orders. Now I can directly from here visualize this data out into Looker Studio by clicking here, and then I'll come onto this screen, and now I can go ahead and start kind of modifying these reports. So let me go ahead and add something here. Maybe we want to add a Google map where we want to see the different customers, where they are based, and things like this. And now the idea is we can start modifying this further. But to summarize, what we have done is we have had a MySQL instance which was running on GCV. We streamed the data to BigQuery to run analytics, and finally we visualize this on Looker Studio. So with this brings me at the end of my demonstrations, and here are some of the key resources which you can leverage to learn more about Google Cloud VMware Engine. And finally, thank you so much for attending today's session. Our Google experts will be on hand to answer any questions which you may have in the chat below. Thank you so much.